Hi,
Hey Barney,
how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you today?
Yeah, all right, mate, not so bad.
Sounds good, sounds good. So Barney, October 28th, you're starting your tour in North America. So how
Yes.
excited are you about the tour?
Yeah, it's gonna be well, it's our first actual tour, obviously, like the rest of the, musical world,
Mhm.
um, since like late March 2020. So
Yeah,
it's probably have to like get used to the pace of it a little bit, but I'm sure it'll be fine. So
sounds good, sounds good, Barney. So last September 2020, you put up your 16th album, Throes of Joy. So can you tell me a bit about the production behind this album?
a bit about the what, sorry, Keith?
The production
About
of
the
this
what
album?
bit? Oh, the production.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's a consistent process for us because we've always used Russell, the producer's been the same for, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 albums, something like that, consistently
Mhm.
on his own. So yeah, it was pretty similar. We did this time, we did it over kind of almost a unlimited period of time. So the sessions actually started in 2017,
Mhm.
and the last session was um, like early in 2020. So it was quite a long period of time, but it was very small sub periods within that.
Yeah.
A day doing vocals here, a day doing guitars there, something else, something else. So yeah, we just basically did it when he got time and when we got time because we were touring quite a lot at that point. So
Sounds amazing. And was there any particular concept that you put behind this album?
yeah, I mean, so um, the general sort of thing behind it was about kind of a scapegoating, the whole sort of process where um, groups of people are dehumanized,
Mhm.
um, and the things that can lead to, because we saw in the 1930s, what a sort of process that can be. It starts with um, mild criticism
Yeah.
of certain groups in public, and then it can lead to disastrous consequences, as was what um, Adolf Hitler's government in Germany did to not only the Jews but other groups of people as well.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a celebration in the face of a lot of social cynicism at that time, directed at various groups of people. So yeah, it was a warning, I think, a personal warning
Mhm.
to not succumb to that. Be a human being and understand that not everybody's the same, and people are different, and people's choices are not something that should lead to them being condemned, violently assaulted, other things as well. So there was a number of things involved here. And
Yeah.
also the treatment of refugees,
Mhm.
because I think people don't understand that migrationary movement is part of the history of the world. It's always been there.
Yeah.
And actually people are running away from places to places that actually arguably were involved in the history of where they lived, becoming such a bad place to live. So there's a certain irony in that. So yeah, there was a number of things.
Yeah. And this album was so amazing, and most of the media has said great about this album. It was so amazing musically and more powerful, and it was an amazing album. So, how, as a band, do you feel about the outcome of this album?
Yeah, I'm really happy with it, Keith. I mean, to be honest, the the past few albums that we've done, I think we've really kind of hit the sweet spot for us personally. You know, the albums are very Napalm Death in that they are very abrasive sounding. They're certainly not a backward step in that respect, but they're also experimental as well. So they're covering extremity, but a raft of different approaches with sonic extremity. And I think that's really important, because like making the same album 2, 3, 4, 5 times, I mean, that's too easy. You know, albums, I believe, should be challenging. You know, they should open new attempt to open up new feelings in people's minds, you know. So yeah, that's what we're trying to do. You know, not everybody necessarily appreciates that approach. You know, there are probably people that just want Napalm Death to play 20-second songs and that's it, you know, but we can still do that intensity, but we can make it different. We can portray it differently, you know. So
absolutely. Wonderful. And what would be the next plan for the band?
After this tour, well, we're not going to get back till mid to late December into the UK, so we won't do anything probably then until late January, February. I think we're going to do a European tour, so that's going to be the next thing, immediate thing after that. So, but we have a mini album coming out actually pretty soon, so that's going to be, I think, February, March or something like that.
So how is the mini album coming up? So have you done the songwriting and the mixing of the album?
Finished. It's finished. I mean, the songs were played in the same session. They were made in the same session as the Throw session. It's like a partner recording. So the two things were of the same time period. Okay, big time period, 3 years, but they're in that general period.
Sounds good. And do you have any plans to put as a deluxe set or something to go along with the Throws album?
A deluxe set, did you say, Keith?
Yeah, deluxe set, yeah.
Well, no, because that would be a bit exploitative, you know. I mean, we did the main album and that's that. The mini album is something new. I mean, yeah, of course, like maybe 5 years down the line, we might consider putting a package of the two, maybe, but right now, no, you know. So
sounds good. And being for many generations, like almost a decade, more than a couple of decades, you've been making amazing music. So how has the journey been for you guys so far?
You know, Keith, we just, in terms of albums, just approach every album as you arrive at it, you know. That's all I can say, really. And, you know, in terms of playing live, well, hopefully we're as intense now as we were in 1990, you know, hopefully, fingers crossed, you know, because I think the band and the approach demands it, you know. I don't think you can be in Napalm Death and just be very static, you know, when you play live. I just don't think, for me, that would feel odd somehow, you know.
Yeah, and being the pioneer of grindcore, and you have made amazing success throughout the world. So how do you feel about the success of Napalm Death?
You know what, Keith? I never gauged success of the band. You know, my motivation was always doing art that could be as good as it could be, you know. So yeah, of course, I absolutely feel humbled that people look at Napalm Death in certain ways. Of course I do. But you have to kind of put that aside sometimes, and concentrate on making what you do next as good as it can be. Because, of course, there's a danger of believing the hype, and then you perhaps start to make records that are not as good as they could be, you know, in terms of focusing on the art, you know. So yeah, I mean, it's nice but we have to push forward, you know. So
Sounds good, Barney. And Barney, would you like to share some of the great moments that you had over the years?
to be honest, Keith, I would if I could remember most of them, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, I guess the principal thing would be Napalm Death has taken me to every continent of the world, you know, and if it wasn't for that, not only the privilege of being able to play the music that we do, but the friends that I've made, the people that I've met would never, ever have happened if I hadn't been part of Napalm Death. So I've got a lot to be thankful for because of that, you know. So I don't take that for granted, you know. I appreciate it as you would hope that I would, you know.
So in the future, if you are interested in making more experimentation in the band, bringing different things to the band, what would those things be, Barney?
So say again, sorry.
In the future, if you want to do a lot of experimentation in making the music for the band and you want to bring something different into it, so what kind of differences you want to bring into the band?
Well, when we arrive at that, we'll arrive at that, you know. I can't say right now, you know, so.
Sounds good. And Barney, finally, what would be the message you want to give to the fans around the world?
Sorry, Keith? What message did you say?
Message for the fans around the world.
You know, just thanks for your support. You know, it's when you think about it, it's unfathomable that a band that's so extreme sonically can hold this kind of you know, a dedication from people that like the band. So yeah, it's not a feasible thing, you know. It's great, and I appreciate it, you know, absolutely.
Wonderful, Barney. And Barney, thank you so much for giving me your time today to have this interview with you. It's a real pleasure and honor for me to talk to you, and you have a great evening out there, Barney.
And you too, Keith. Thanks ever so much.
Yeah,
appreciate it, my friend. All the best. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.